Wait, just funny story, we'll get straight back to it. This video definitely wasn't planned. It sure as heck wasn't something that was on the list of videos to upload to YouTube. Most of you know that I only really have one aerobatic airframe at a time, and for the last year that's been my Pilot RC 103-inch laser, the black and yellow one. Now, on the day that video was taken, I wasn't even supposed to be flying. I was actually out there to pick up what would be my second airframe, the Pilot RC 103-inch Slick. But as I was driving out there, I thought what better than to take an airplane, have some fun, pick up the new airframe, come home, build it, do a video of the build for all of you guys, and then we've got two great airframes to have fun with. Well, as you've guessed by now, and probably seen on the thumbnail, that didn't quite work out. So we now have an extra video to make, and that is fixing the laser. Or trying to, at least. But hopefully we will reach the point when we have two fully working 100cc airframes. Anyway, back to the video, and possibly never before said, let's go crash the laser. And that's why you should never change the manoeuvre that you're going to do halfway through it. If I'd have continued what I was going to do, I'd have been fine. I thought it might look cool to go out in the other way, that way. Bad idea, but it's a Pilot, so it'll be fine. Just needs a little bit TLC, a little bit of epoxy on the nose, back in the air in no time. Back home in the workshop, time for a damage report. The undercarriage, well, quite obviously, after that, it's had it. Fortunately though, the wood hasn't suffered any kind of damage, so it's just a case of replacing the landing gear. Good job to the design team at Pilot here for that one. Now, the firewall, that's been buckled and pushed in, so that's going to need replacing. The cowling has definitely seen better days. As for the rudder, well, I don't even have it anymore. I handed that over to my good friend Nacho, who, unlike me, is an absolute whiz when it comes to balsa and especially aura cover. So, fingers crossed, he can have that fixed and looking good as new by the time that we have the rest of the plane finished. So, enough talking, time to get fixing. Funny story number 2 for this episode. The slick was picked up on that day because the Pilot RC container had just arrived in Spain. There were 2 boxes in that container for me, the first of which was the slick and the second was this one. Now, of the bits that we broke in that crash, there's only one part that's really laborious to fix, requiring fiberglass, filling, a lot of sanding and painting, and that is the cowl. If we have a look at the size of the box, there's no prizes for guessing what it is. It's as if Tony knew that on the day that I picked up the slick, I was going to crash the laser. He already sent us a spare cowl. Now, there is actually a reason to that. This is a version 1 cowl, it's the original one, and he sent us the version 2 so we can have the latest version so people can see the difference. It's got a bit of a bump here for better cooling, and it's more stylised and with bigger air intakes. So, fortunately, we don't need to worry about fixing the cowl, we can simply install the new one. That moment when the old cowl tells the new cowl it's going to be flying for Martin Pickering. That's the fuselage done. There's just one part missing. That rudder. Has Nacho come through? Yes. Here we have one as new finished rudder. Absolutely spectacular, and there's no way in a million years I could get the covering to look like that. So big thanks, Nacho. Oh yeah, and somehow, even though he took all the covering off and didn't have the fuselage, the lines still line up perfectly. Awesome job.
Grazie là.